Hello everyone. I am just making some plastic beads, and so I thought that I would bring you along and show you how to make them. This is just a plastic bottle that I peeled the label off of and then just cut the top and bottom off and cut it in half. So I have this piece of plastic. And I saw these beads made by Cheryl Coyote on YouTube, and I thought that they were really cool. So they're just basically like your paper beads. What you're going to do is you're going to cut your strips in triangles, maybe about a half an inch or so at the bottom, and then going up to a point. And I just go back and forth, make one with a point, and then make one that's wider. And there is no exact measurements that you have to use. You can make them however you want. If you want them really wide, if you want to make them straight, like people make straight paper beads, you can use any shape that you want to, but you just go ahead and cut as many as you feel like cutting. And then I'm going to use, when I watched Cheryl make them, she made them with nail polish, and it's been a while since I watched her make them, so I don't remember exactly what all she used, because it seems like she used paint too. But I'm going to use the alcohol inks because I did make some with the nail polish, which is a little bit brighter. But the only thing is that it takes 2 coats, and it takes a while for them to dry. And I'm always just impatient. So basically what you do is you've got your triangle. Do I have something to put behind this? Maybe. I don't know if this will help or not. A triangle of plastic, just like with your paper beads. Now this one's jaggedy on the end, so I'm just going to cut that straight. And then all you're going to do is put some alcohol ink on there. And I'm going to use, we'll make a green one and an orange one, since that's what I've got on my little felt here. And let's see here. Nope, not orange yet. Let's do the green one. Oh, I haven't used these in a little while, and they're kind of stuck. Put green and yellow together. And then you just like anything else with the alcohol inks, you just pat your alcohol ink on there. And I'm going to make an orange one. I'll wipe this off a little bit. There we go. Now we'll do orange and red, I think. But yeah, these are really cool. I've made some, and I used some to do some embellishing. Oh, excuse me. Well, I can't get this one open for anything. There we go. Come on. It's really stuck. We have a wood-burning stove, and the heat in here sometimes really plays havoc with my craft supplies. It either dries them out or messes with them anyways. So I'm just going to do this one. Don't forget to get your tip. But yeah, I use them to embellish a wind spinner that I made. I've really been making a lot of wind spinners, which is, you know, just like wind chimes, but they spin instead. And they don't make any noise, so they're just pretty. So now I'm going to take the flat end of the bead with a pair of needle nose pliers, and then I'm just going to wrap this around and just keep wrapping, just like with the paper beads. And I need to put my glasses on so I can see. You want to make sure that you kind of like keep it centered, or make it any shape that you want to. Sometimes I like to have it all line up just at one end, and that looks really cool too, instead of having it go across the middle. But you're just going to keep wrapping. There we go. Okay, when you've got it all wrapped, you've got to hold it tight because it'll just want to spin undone. When you've got it all done, slip it off, and then what I do is I put my pliers back in there and grab that point to hold it all together. So then what you've got looks like this. It's got the ridges in it like a plastic bead, and then you just hold on to that, and you can use a candle and hold it over the candle. I'm just going to use my heat tool because it goes faster, and you'll see it kind of melting a little bit. You don't want to melt it, but you'll see it kind of shrinking. And when it stops shrinking, you're done. Now be careful, it may be kind of hot. And then I'm just gonna squish it kind of back into a round shape because that one was really quite flat. And there we go. There's our first plastic bead. And they're really cool because they're shiny and you can see through them, and they're just really neat. Now on this one, I'm going to make this one so that it rolls all to one side. So like I'm going to line it up here on the bottom instead of making it line up at the top. So I'm just keeping this line even with the bottom here. So it'll be kind of cone shaped when we're done. And I really like them that way also. As a matter of fact, since, they've been making paper beads since we were little. That was something I played with when I was little. So it's kind of like, paper beads, So by doing this, it just kind of changes things up a little bit. I need to get a hold of that point and hold it down. Oops, I let it go. And that's the only thing. It's a little bit fiddly with the fact that it does want to unwind. There we go. Now the one thing I forgot to do, which she did on her video, was she rounded the edges of her wide end. And so see, I've got this big straight square right there where it started. And that's really not that pretty. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it go. Let it unwind. That's kind of cool looking just in itself. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to round those corners because especially the way I was doing it, you really see that straight corner. So where's my scissors? Here they are. Just round the corners off. It just looks a little bit more finished that way. So there we go. That'll just look a little bit better. I'm going to start again. And again, I'm going to line it up right at the bottom. And now I'm going backwards, so it's harder to see. Backwards to me, anyways. Just keep lining it up right at the bottom. And I love the color that this one turned out. Give it a little wiggle. Get my pliers back in there and grab a hold of that tip. Make sure that I've got it. Now because my pliers are kind of more on a square shape, they're not really round, I am going to dry it now, or not dry it, but melt it. And you just want to go around every side. Make sure that you get it well before you let go, or it will untangle. And once it starts to dry, if it untangles, it's really hard to do anything with it because it's hard. The plastic is much harder. just going to go around and do that. Get every side. And I think I've got it. Just kind of hold it there. Be careful because they can be hot. And there we go. And now this one, if I can get it to hold still, this one is cone shaped. So it's wider at the bottom and gets skinnier as it goes up. But I thought that's really pretty. I wish I had better lighting. But yeah, so there's that one and the green and yellow one. And they just really turn out really cool. So, and they're really quite fast to make if you use the alcohol inks, but also, like I said, if you don't have alcohol inks, the fingernail polish works great. You just have to wait for it to dry. And, but it's not quite as sheer as the alcohol inks are. But it's also, because it's not so sheer, it's much brighter. So I just thought I'd show you how I was making these. And I hope that you like them. I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching and have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.